Sorry about any construction noise, you know the drill. They've been almost quiet for the past few weeks, but of course, the first time in quite a while I decided to get up early and film before work, the goons are at it again. So, happy Tuesday! After a nightmare with UPS and GameStop taking their sweet time shipping my game, I finally got Majora's Mask 3D. Still don't have my Majora's Mask new 3DS because the UPS driver lost it. But anyway, I finally have the game and I've played it for a couple of days and I've just now finished Snowhead Temple and all related tasks. So, Skull Kid and I are gonna give you a quick semi-review / my thoughts on the game. Okay, cool. It is not quite the HD remake I was hoping for, but it is pretty. Save for the low-res environment textures ripped straight from the original game. For shame, Nintendo. More save points and the added ability to save and then continue playing is a good improvement. Because before you couldn't save and continue, you had to save and quit, and then your save point was wiped when you continued playing, which I never understood, but at least it's gone now. The Sheikah Stones, like the huge ones that you crawl into and it's like a trippy acid nightmare, are super cool looking and super useful for newbie players. It's like Skyward Sword style hints that basically show you video clips, putting IGN out of a job. The Bomber Kids play a much bigger role. Now they provide you with intel on stuff happening around Termina. They give you hints on upcoming in-game events, and they generally try to keep reminding you of the Bomber's goal to help people and solve their problems, which has always been a thing, but they were always kind of pushed to the wayside and no one ever really used the Bomber's Notebook because it was confusing. Speaking of the Bomber's Notebook, it now also keeps track of everything. When you can do certain tasks and who needs what and whether a task is completed or not and whatever. It doesn't just say, you helped this person, yay! It gives you all of the steps in between, which is incredibly handy. The banker is now conveniently located right in front of the Clocktown Owl statue, which means you can warp to Clocktown, deposit your rupees, and then play the Song of Time hassle-free. It's all right there in one spot. And Gaebora doesn't talk your ear off anymore? He just says a few lines like any other character, normal amount of dialogue, none of this mashing the B button to skip it all, and then it says, did you get all that? And the first option is no, which means you hit no by accident, and then it repeats the whole speech over again. They took that out. And again, I haven't finished the game yet, but honestly, my one major complaint, it's kind of a big complaint though, they ruined the bosses. Majora's Mask was one of the few games, especially Zelda games, that didn't suffer from the extensively repetitive boss with a giant glaring target on its back syndrome. But with this remake, they've changed the mechanics, and we have lost that little bit of uniqueness. Now all the bosses have huge Majora-looking eyeballs poking out of their bodies in various places. Ugh. So basically the mechanics from the old game that you know and love are mostly the same, but now in addition, you have to stop everything and whack this eyeball. With the Dalwa, you have to use the arrows and hit the eyeball, and then eventually maybe he'll drop to the ground, and then you wail on the eyeball with your sword, Goma style, which is not really more than kind of annoying, but for the most part it doesn't break the flow. However, Goat, favorite boss in the game, personally, with the added eyeball thing, you do your Goron rolling, you knock him down, you stop, you hit the eyeball, then you start the Goron roll charge again. It just breaks the flow. The whole point of that boss, the reason it was fun is because you're literally just a giant spiky rock thing just wailing on a mechanical bull. And because, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who made this stupid mistake, with a Dalwa you had to hit the eyeball with arrows, I just assumed you had to hit the eyeball with arrows. So what I was doing when I was fighting Goat is I would do the Goron roll, and then he would go down, and then I would take off the Goron mask, fire off like 30 arrows because it takes a ton of arrows to hit that thing, and then put the Goron mask back on and start the rolling again. It was not fun anymore. And so because of this additional mechanic, the bosses seem to take much longer. But it's not because they're harder or they like have more health or whatever. They just made your attacks less effective so that it takes more hits to take him down. But it takes more hits of the same thing to take him down. So insert Egoraptor's rant from Sequelitis about repetition does not mean difficulty. Yes, that. So again, not finished with the game yet. just past Snowhead right now. But so far I'm thrilled about absolutely everything that they did. Like all of the tweaks and the mechanic changes and the little adjustments here and there have been super, super helpful, and they make the game more smooth and fun to play, except the boss fights, which is kind of a big exception. But I guess the original game ain't going anywhere for when I want some good old-fashioned Goron roll and goat smashing fun, right? Peace, love, geekdom. Sorry again for all the noise. If I could shut them up, I would, but I can't, because they don't care. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Click on my face to see more of my face. Look over there for my last video, and down there for social media and Redbubble and such type things. Bye. Yes. Yes? Yes.